a thin thread that was extremely dangerous. It was made of a special material called nanoblade. Despite being 10 times thinner than human hair, it could cut the entire ship. Many ways were tried to remove the hard drive from Judgment Day, but electricity and poisonous gases were not very effective. Even if it was tried, the crew would have had time to save the drive. People could have fainted from the neutron bomb, but it was dangerous to damage the hard drive. Then the captain suggested to cut the ship from the middle with nanoblades. Although the number of blades was low, they could only be placed 50 centimeters away. This meant that the operation could only be carried out during the day. People might have survived if they had stayed up at night. But people walk or stand during the day, and they could have cut it easily. Next day, the engineers installed large beams on both sides of the canal. Nanoblades were fitted in between these beams. To avoid damaging other ships, these blades were hidden underwater. It was kept secretly until the target was seen. Professor was dazed and gazing at the screen in concern. He was waiting for that special ship. As soon as he saw it, the last small boat passed, an invisible deadly net began to rise on the surface of the water. Now he was moving towards his real target. The pilot of the ship was looking at the water carefully, but his eyes or radar could not recognize any danger. He did not feel any danger. He was chewing gum comfortably. The next moment, the ship entered that cutting zone. At first, everything seemed normal, but the next part of the ship had already been cut into 50-centimeter pieces. As the ship moved forward, sparks began to come out of the ship, and strange sounds began to be heard. The crew began to understand that something was wrong, but even then, they did not see the blades. When the life rings were cut and separated, they still could not understand what was happening. But when the blades started to cut their body, they realized the reality. But by then, it was too late. Professor Durbin was watching all this. Cold sweat started to flow on his back. The ship had already been cut into many pieces. Still, some distance was possible. A guard was guarding the deck below, which had important trichlorine data. When the blade passed through his body, he did not feel anything in the beginning, but as soon as he saw the hard drive falling on the ground, he understood that his body was no longer complete. After crossing the blade zone, the ship went a little far, and then the ship broke with a loud voice. The entire ship was scattered like a pile of cards. It became a pile of garbage. Everyone was killed. But the cuts of the blades were so clean and thin that the hard drive was safe. Later, its data was taken back safely.